All right. Well, welcome back to another episode of Chop and Roll on the podcast. Some of us had a good weekend. Some of us didn't on the field, but we'll get into that. How you doing, Baker?
I'm doing great. Doing great. Like you said, some of us had a good weekend. Could have been better, but I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining about a W. So
Yeah. You just take the win and get out, right?
Take it, and move on to the next. We got another big one this weekend. So, never ends. It never ends in the SEC this time of year.
Yeah. Well, we'll get into Oklahoma, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll get into that here next in a few days and preview that game. But as far as last week, another FSU loss. And man, to me, the word of the season is just like frustration.
Sure.
Because look, the one thing this team isn't is consistent. I mean, you beat Wake Forest 42-7. You look like a team that does what it's supposed to do, right? And everyone's thinking, okay, maybe they figured something out. Maybe they'll go on a little roll here. Then a week later, Clemson just smacks you in the mouth 24-10. Same team, just totally different product, if you ask me. And that's kind of what drives me nuts the most, is that you never know which kind of team's going to show up. Last year when we were 2-10 or whatever, you knew that we were not a talented team. This team beat Alabama, right? I mean, here's what doesn't make sense to me. We beat Wake. Wake went up to Virginia at night and beat a ranked, number 14 UVA team.
Yeah.
Something that we couldn't do.
Yeah.
Right? We couldn't even do that. So now we have 7 ACC road losses in a row, and that's not bad luck. I think that's just the identity of the team, right? Clemson gives up 46 points to Duke the week before us. We only managed 10. Oh, and by the way, Duke, they lost to UConn.
Yeah.
Right? So, we're not, and that was this week. So like after they beat Clemson, they went and lost to UConn. So, we're not bad all the time is the problem. We're bad at like the worst possible moments. Like we're situationally bad, right? And that's the most frustrating thing. So,
And honestly, I feel like I know Alabama's record was a little bit better than Florida State's last year, but I felt like that was kind of our issue, was going on the road against teams that you're supposed to beat. And we didn't do it. We lost obviously at Vandy, we lost at Oklahoma. I think we probably, the Tennessee game you could say is could have gone either way, but definitely Vanderbilt and Oklahoma. You don't go on the road and lose to those teams last year. And I think that's kind of where Florida State is right now. I don't know if it's a preparation. That's what I said last year. Maybe it's a preparation thing on the coaching staff. I don't know why you would prepare any differently for one of those games, but maybe you do. But yeah, it was super frustrating last year being an Alabama fan and having an outside shot at the playoffs and dropping those 2 games, which ultimately kept us out. And so could imagine as Florida State fans, you're going to these games thinking you're clearly the better team on paper. And why can't you just get it done?
Yeah. And if you look at the stats,
the momentum,
look at the box score. I mean, you wouldn't have thought we lost, and the problem is that there's just too many mistakes, and at any level that'll drive a coach crazy. Right. And, you got receivers wide open and they're dropping passes, right? 4th and 2, we're wide open going down the field. Pittman, who's had a great year, he drops the ball. You've got killer penalties in huge situations, right? We're down at the goal line, we score, it comes back because of blocking down. Our guys just blocking a guy on our wide receivers, blocking a guy out of bounds down the sideline during a pass play. It's like, obviously somebody didn't get the signal, right?
Why would you do that?
And, and you got QB and running back exchange fumbles in the red zone. That's Pop Warner stuff. You know what I mean? So it's like this team doesn't know how to win anymore. They keep just shooting themselves in the foot, right? And they don't get they never really got started on offense. I mean, first of all, watching the film, like Tommy cannot read defenses. Like he can't. I don't know whether he can't see them. He has too many reads, but his mechanics are terrible. He's sidearming everything. His throwing mechanics are so terrible. And then I watch the Bama replay, and it's like Ty Simpson's just sitting there in the pocket, tall, like he's supposed to, stepping into every throw. Now, he's got a lot of time, but even when Tommy had time, his mechanics are so bad. And, and I don't know with Gus, like I love Gus's offense. I get it. He's, I think we went from 120th in offense to 1 or 2 in the nation or whatever. So we're up there, right? But it's like they just sometimes in game they refuse to make changes. Like Clemson just lined up everybody at the line on a jailbreak, and you didn't know who was coming, and we still made no adjustments to that. Like they did it over and over. No checks, no audibles, no answers. It's just bad coaching and bad. I don't know whether it's stubbornness or what, but it's just bad coaching. You got to make an adjustment. You
Yeah,
know?
and we may have talked about this before too, but I feel like that was kind of the knock on him at Auburn was that if he found the perfect game plan for that game, it was going to be very difficult for you to stop that offense. If your defensive game plan matched what they're trying to do offensively, there were no adjustments to be made. He would, he'd pull out the gimmick play and pull out the flea flicker, pull out the double reverse or what, and try to get something going. But the end game adjustments just weren't there for Malzahn on offense.
Yeah. Yep.
You know,
And I see that now. I mean,
yeah,
and here's closing up because I don't want to waste too much time on a team that is absolutely horrible, and then Clemson, who's
that's
horrible, beats us and they storm the field, right?
that's what
But
half this podcast is about. That's been a
well,
long
we can
time.
talk about. Trust me, I got more to talk about with Norvell, but here's the bottom line with the game, right? Good teams find a way to win, and we were even texting each other during that Indiana game, right? You're like, "Are you watching this?" And I was like, before that last drive, I was like, "There's plenty of time left. Good teams find a way to win these games," and they did, right? But that's not Florida State right now. We're the exact opposite of that. We find ways to lose, whether it's a drop pass, dumb penalty, blown coverage, it doesn't matter. If there's a wrong time for something bad to happen, FSU is going to find it. So
Yeah,
I don't know what we got to do, but it starts at the top to me.
I was gonna say, so what do you think? Is it a coaching issue? Is it a lack of focus issue? Is it kind of across the board in college football now? These kids are making who knows how much money they're all making. That they just don't care. Um, Or is it kind of a combination of all those factors? Like, what do you see at Florida State? Like you said, Norvell didn't forget how to coach. Gus Malzahn's been doing it for years. Like the guys they know ball. So what's the disconnect? Are they just not connecting? Or
Yeah, I mean,
I
I
mean,
want to say I like Norvell as a person, right? I think he's probably a good man. He's probably a good father. He's probably a good husband. He's probably and I actually know coaches that coach with him at Pitt that said he's a great guy. When he got hired, they were like, "You're not going to find a better guy," right? And so I've defended him and said that hopefully that turns around. That he's a nice guy. But at this point, I mean, he should have been fired Sunday morning. Right. I mean, I was wearing out the refresh button on my browser, just waiting for, Florida State parts
for
ways
the
with Mike
announcement.
Norvell, you know, and then as the day kept dragging on, there was like nothing. And I was like, he's not going anywhere yet. Another week of this bullshit, and that's the problem. So, a real program like all the other ones on that list would have fired him on the tarmac at Stanford. They
Yeah,
wouldn't have even
yeah,
gotten to the Wake Forest game. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
You're not
Or
wrong.
this game.
Yeah,
And if I mean, to me at this point, it's not if, it's when, right? It's when he gets fired. So my thing is like, why wait? The buyout money, like that's not a big difference. Other schools are pulling the trigger, right?
hmm
And they have big buyouts and they're already, getting a head start on us. So I don't know what more you need to see. You know what I mean? And if somebody in administration is sitting there on the fence, like you need to have your head examined. Like it's every week you keep them, you're hurting the FSU brand. You're costing yourself more money. So just pay the buyout. Start acting like a real program. Act as if you're Florida freaking State University. You know what I mean? Like I don't know when this became okay as an FSU fan to accept this level of losing. Like I just don't get it. You know?
yeah. And I know they went to that kind of it's not a split revenue, but the tiered revenue in the ACC. And I feel like the further you guys and Clemson, like you guys are kind of the flagship bearers of the ACC, right? And the more you lose, do you run the jeopardy of not getting that top dollar ACC money right now? I don't know if I haven't looked. I don't know if you've looked to see, are you guys still at the top of the viewership?
I
Um,
know we were. I know that
yeah,
for
you
weeks
were
and
for
weeks and
sure.
weeks, we really were
Yep.
way up there because we had some big games. And I assume we still are, right? I mean, I just don't know where we fall on that. But FSU is 1-5 in the ACC. We're 2-12 in the ACC in our last 14 games. 2-12. Somebody said UConn has beat more ACC teams than Florida State in the last 2 years. Like
Wow.
they beat
Wow.
3, and they're not even in our league. And
Yeah.
we're not 2-12 in the SEC or the Big Ten. It's the ACC. We used to own we used to own the conference, right? So now we're just another team on a schedule, an easy W for people, and I don't know what I'm missing. I really don't. So maybe there's fans out there, FSU fans, can drop in the comments like what I'm missing. But to me, it's like Norvell's got to go, pay the buyout, bite the bullet. If you wait 3 more weeks, if he's already gone at the end of the year, just do it now. He's and the thing about it is, if you watch his like press conferences, just look at it, or in the game, just look at his body language. Like he's got that blank stare on the sidelines during a
Yeah.
game,
Yeah. He
and
does.
even during the press conferences, man, he looks tired. He looks broken. He looks defeated. He doesn't even answer any questions anymore. So like the whole repeating of it's about execution and I got to do a better job and we got to respond. Like, bro, there is no response. Like this is like, and it's not personal again. I like him. I think he's a good coach. I think he'll land somewhere, right? Probably back at like a G5, like a Memphis type school again.
Yeah.
I just
Maybe
think
a
he's over his
USF
head.
when Golish gets his big job. He can go to USF.
Yeah, but I think he will land on his obviously he'll land on his feet somewhere. But I just think he's over his head, and this can't be the standard for Florida State football. It can't be. It's time for a change. Let's do it. And again, if we lose to Virginia Tech at home this week, everyone's like, oh, it's over. But will it be? I don't know. So I don't know. It's just frustrating as an alumni and a booster.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get it. I get it. Uh, yeah. Well, I mean, you would think at home against Virginia Tech under the lights again. You're a 13.5 point favorite. I mean, that should be like a Wake Forest, right? Like you come out and boat race Virginia Tech. You should beat
we
them
should.
42-10.
We
Like,
should.
And if you don't, even if you win a close game, like I'm still thinking about making a move on Norvell this week.
Right.
I mean, Florida made
here's
a
the thing.
change after they won a game. Like you just got to know and pull the trigger and be, just be man enough to do it. Like the time has come. I agree with you. I have no problem with Norvell. The rumors where he was in the running for the Alabama job. I don't know how true that was or if that was just a raise. I'm glad it didn't happen. But at the time, I was thinking, yeah, I'd roll with him. Coming off an undefeated season and a little chip on his shoulder. And
well, he had a lot of talent. He might have been good at Bama, right? He was good with Verse and
right.
all those first rounders and a bunch of people that were drafted. Now, I mean, to me, maybe, just maybe, we're not giving enough credit to FSU administration. Now, have we ever in the past? No. Have they handled big things well in the past? No. But maybe there is something cooking in the background with like somebody like James Franklin or somebody like that, right?
Yeah.
If that's the case, don't wait. Like, why? Make it official. It's not like you're tampering or like whatever that is anymore. But like recruits need to see that, FSU won't tolerate this kind of losing, right? So, and boosters need to know that.
Yeah.
Right. So if you want to send a message, do it with action. Stop talking about words and excuses in press conferences, and then that message that Mike Alford, the AD, came out, oh, we're behind and we're going to evaluate at the end of the year. Like, what? That is so Bush League. Like, do it now.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It's enough.
Yeah. It's not like you're trying to save a season that you still have an outside shot of going to a conference championship or the playoff or anything like the season's over.
Yes.
Right.
It's
so
over.
Go ahead and evaluate.
Yep. Yeah.
Make your decision. And get out in front of, like we talked about, get out in front of the coaching search. Like you are falling behind, even if the backdoor conversations are happening, which we all know they do. You still don't know for sure. Like it's not a definite that Norvell's gone. Make it a definite and get in the race. And I'm with it. I'd go get James Franklin. I think the guy's going to win a national championship at some point. I know he couldn't win the big game at Penn State, but when you think about what he took over at Penn State and what a dumpster fire that was after Paterno, and that whole mess, man, I mean, that was a miracle where he has that program right now. And he did it at Vanderbilt, and kind of had Vanderbilt to the level that they're at currently. right? And so you go to a Florida State, and they're going to have to commit more resources to the next coach. That's just the way it goes. Um, like I don't know. Why would you not? Why would you not take a flyer on a James Franklin?
Yeah. I mean,
Like the guy
out there right
wins.
now
The
that we
guy,
could probably afford, I would do it.
yeah, the guy will win 10 games, 9 games on a bad year, 10 games regularly, and all it takes is that one, you know, lightning flash, and all of a sudden you're undefeated and maybe you win a national championship.
The thing is, in the
Like the
ACC,
guy
you
can
don't have to be
coach.
undefeated. Just look at
Yeah,
second place now, like, who do you have to beat? UVA
right.
and, like, Louisville maybe and Georgia Tech. I mean, come on, like, you don't have to be great. You have to be very good, right? And very good is good enough to get you the ACC championship game. If you get there, you have a chance to get in the playoffs. Like, it's not hard. So, I don't know. We can it's good banter. We can switch gears. Big win for you guys.
Yeah, big win. I don't mean to sound disappointed, but
Yeah, you're almost sounding like a spoiled Bama fan almost.
no, listen, the run game's a problem. We can't have 25 carries for 56 yards and expect to beat good teams. Like you just can't. And I get that Grubb and DeBoer, they lean towards the passing game, and I'm fine with that. But when you need to run the ball, you got to be able to run the ball. And right now, we're not there. And to be honest, it scares me to death going into Oklahoma. That they do the same thing they did last year, make us one dimensional, and we struggle. Um,
Yeah, you're gonna have to run the ball. I mean, Venables is gonna stack.
yeah,
He's gonna either stack it. He's gonna drop, 8 in the coverage. Whatever he
yeah,
has to do, he's gonna take away what you guys do best, and those are those middle routes,
yeah.
or maybe he's just gonna bring pressure on Ty Simpson, and he hasn't faced any pressure like that with multiple blitzes and having to read who's coming type stuff. So he's gonna force you guys.
100%. And, I went back and watched the game, and I've kind of been listening to some different people, and the offensive line looks pretty solid. They're
Hmm.
opening up some gaps and some holes. I just don't think our running backs are either seeing it, or following the play. Like I think we may be now in the situation where we're pressing, trying to make the big run every single time, as opposed to taking these 6, 7 yards, when you got it. And then you bust the 14-yarder, and eventually you bust the 34-yarder, and eventually you bust the 65. I think we're going for the home run every single time because we know we're getting 3 yards a carry or whatever it is. And that's not how you run the ball. That's not how Alabama's run the ball.
Yeah,
You just
56 yards total
pound,
in
yeah,
rushing. That is
yeah, pound,
crazy.
yeah. And Ty Simpson, to his credit, I don't think he had his best game against LSU. He missed some guys, he missed some opportunities, and we still won pretty comfortably.
Well, it helps when you
But
hold them to 59, right? I
right.
mean, LSU only got 59
Yeah,
rushing. So,
defense played. Um, did you watch the game? I mean, Nussmeier got pulled.
yeah, that's on my
I
list. Like, I looked up, I moved, went to get a drink or something, came back in, and they had a backup quarterback. I was like, did he get
Yeah.
hurt? And then I was
No.
like, but then I watched the replay again, and I mean, it was a one-score game
Yeah.
in the third quarter, right? And they pulled him.
Yeah, and pulled him.
Why?
And I thought the kid that came in provided a bit of a spark. He looked more athletic. He kind of looked more poised in the pocket, if you want to be perfectly honest. Um, I think the inexperience finally caught up to him a little bit, but I mean, Nussmeier was the number one pick in the draft coming into this year,
Yeah,
and
so
the guy
that's my
gets benched
question.
at
Like,
Alabama.
is that gonna hurt his draft stock?
It's got
Like,
to.
what's this coach doing to the kid?
Yeah,
You know?
absolutely. Absolutely. And again, he's been banged up and maybe he's still not 100%. But with you're within striking distance and you pull your guy out of the game. I was blown away. I mean, I was great.
Week 9 or 10, whatever we're in, week 9 or 10, the SEC, nobody's 100%, right?
Sure.
Everybody's banged up. They're all playing through it. So, like, but to pull him like that in a one-score game, I was like, wait, what is going on? Is he hurt? Did I miss something? And he's standing on the sidelines, and the announcers really didn't talk much about it, I didn't
No,
think.
they didn't. It's like almost like they knew it might be part of the game plan. Like maybe
Yeah.
they said they were gonna swap quarterbacks. But yeah, I was just sitting loving that when they pulled him.
That was an odd call, and I don't
It was.
maybe that coach has been fighting for that quarterback all year. Maybe that was a Brian Kelly thing, and then as soon as Brian Kelly's gone, second half, boom, new guy in. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see who starts this week for him.
Yeah, and you've got nothing to lose, right? And maybe you're starting to look towards next year knowing that Nussmeier's gone. You're gonna have a new coach. Maybe it's an audition. If this guy comes in and shows out, maybe they retain. Wilson is the head coach. I don't know what all goes into those thought processes, but man, in that situation, it seemed like a really, really odd call.
Hey, was Brooks the freshman you were talking about before on our
Yes.
podcast? Yeah,
Yeah.
he showed out, man.
Yeah. He's a stud.
Yeah.
He's a stud.
He just hasn't
Yeah.
had that many opportunities or what?
He's just been injured. He's been hurt a little
Okay.
bit.
Yeah, you're
And
like,
now
we're
he's
getting a
back.
freshman back. And I was like, okay, freshman with those other guys. But he
Yeah.
showed out.
He's like a Jalen Waddle type guy. He's got a lot of shake, a lot of speed. Ryan Williams will be back next year, but between him and Williams, they're going to be the go-tos, next year for sure. Yeah, I love that kid. He showed out in spring ball. Everything you read about him is he puts all the effort in, all the extra reps, and he's got great mentors also. Jeremy Bernard and Ryan Williams. Everything you read about them is they do it the right way, and they're teaching these young guys, what it takes to be successful at this level. And apparently, this guy, Brooks, has just embraced it, wholeheartedly. And I love the kid.
Well, 6.5 is a lot of points, I think. I thought it'd be a little bit closer. I think it'd be like 3.5, 4.5. 6.5 is a lot of points for Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I know it's at Bama, and we'll preview it down the road, but
It is, and it's a revenge game. We got Vanderbilt back from last year. We got Tennessee back from last year. I think they probably got this one big on the board as another revenge opportunity. But I'm telling you, that Oklahoma defense is no joke, man. They fly at you. They're good in all three levels. So we'll see. Ty, this is Ty's moment. I think this could be Ty's Heisman moment this weekend. If he can put up points against Oklahoma and do it on a consistent basis and not turn the ball over. We talked about Fernando at Indiana, and maybe this past week was his Heisman moment. I think Ty could have his this week. Man, I'm excited. We're doing Oklahoma smash burgers.
Okay.
On the grill.
A Blackstone?
Yep.
Yep.
So we try every week. We do something that is related to the team that we're playing, just to keep it kind of fun.
Would you do Creole or something this week?
Well, it's funny. We did. So I'll go back a couple weeks real quick. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but we played South Carolina and we found something called, it's called a chicken. No, it's called chicken bog, right?
Okay.
It sounds horrible.
Yeah.
Sounds like you're drinking a swamp. But it's basically jambalaya without the shrimp. So we did that for South Carolina. And so we typically do jambalaya for LSU. And because we had just done it for South Carolina, we had fried chicken, fried shrimp, and then slow cooker beef po' boys.
Okay, po' boys. Okay, good.
And it turned out good. It was pretty, the meat was in the slow cooker for like 9 hours, I think. So it was super tender. But yeah, we did that and hush puppies, and my sister-in-law makes beignets every year for it. So it was a great spread. Yeah. So this week we're going to do Oklahoma smash burgers. And then I'll let you know the Auburn game. The Auburn game's that's a whole different level. And I'll let you know what that looks like when we get here.
All right.
But
well, are we going to do top fives?
I think we are.
Okay, new segment. The top 5 roll list and the top 5 chop list. Today's topic, and if you want us to do any top 5s, comment below, but today is just simple. It's just movies. It's not even sports movies. Doesn't have to be sports movies. It could be any movie, but there may be some sports movies in there. And I have one movie that if it's not on your list, you're probably going to be in trouble.
I'm guessing my top 5 is nowhere close to what you have.
So you going 5 first?
Yeah, so let me set it up for you. So I went movies I've probably watched the most ever.
Okay.
Right. So seen the most times. And if that movie comes on TV on a Sunday afternoon, I'm sitting down and watching it.
Yeah, you can't
everything
click
else
off.
stops.
Right.
And I'm watching that movie. So they're not necessarily the classics, the greatest of all times. But they're my 5 that if I'm hanging out and it comes on, I'm probably flipping off that NFL game unless it's the Bucks and watching that movie.
Okay. Wow.
That
All
was
right.
my thought process.
Now, are these all yours or any wife influence at all?
No, these are all mine.
Okay,
Well,
good.
no, that's not true. She put one in my head right before we came on,
Okay.
and I did switch. I'll be honest, I switched my
Okay.
number 5 because I was like, "Damn it, you're right." Like, if this
All
movie
right.
comes on, I'm watching the sucker.
All right.
Um,
Not
so
Grease.
do we wanna go back and forth, like
Yeah, yeah.
5 and
Go ahead.
5
Go ahead
and
with your number 5. We'll do that.
okay, so my number 5, is a ridiculous movie, and yet I can't get enough of it, and it's National Lampoon's Vacation.
Okay. That's a good pick.
I
That's a
yeah,
classic pick.
every time it comes on, I
Yep.
mean, the kid's finger up his nose when they crash the car, like,
Yeah.
I watch the whole thing. I watch it.
Yeah. I'm wondering what my favorite vacation is. Probably Christmas.
We'll watch Christmas 25 times this year. I
Yeah.
mean, every
Yeah.
time it comes on.
Yep.
But I went with the classic.
Yep.
You know.
No, respect. Respect. I get it. For my number 5, I could probably have a top 5 of all mafia movies.
Sure.
Okay. But I'm
And
not going to go there.
I almost went there, yep.
Okay. I'm not going to go there. For number 5, I'm going to go, which some people may have as the greatest of all time mob movie. I'm going Goodfellas.
Goodfellas. I knew you were going
Okay.
there.
Yeah.
Yep. It
I'm
was
going
on my
Goodfellas
list.
for number 5.
Yeah, it was on my list. Again, I just like I've seen it, I don't know, probably I don't know if more than 10 times, and that's why like these movies I'm listing, I've seen 20 plus times no matter what. So number 4 is a Bama homer. If you watch it on TV, it is the 6-hour marathon because of commercials, but Forrest Gump falls in at number 4 for me. Um, I just love it. I still tear up watching it. To me, it's probably the one. Well, I may have another classic on here, but the one classic that I went for. That yeah, if it comes on, I'm watching it. Forrest
Well, the
Gump.
Bama faithful's happy. It had
Yeah,
to be on there.
I
That's the one I was talking about. Like, if you're not happy, you got to
yeah
take down the flag. Like, I
yeah.
mean, if you don't have that in there, they're not going to be happy. You got to take it down.
I'm glad I passed the test.
Yeah, yeah. That's a good one. That's a really good one. And I would have put that on there, but I knew you were going to put it on. I knew a Bama fan puts on Forrest Gump. So for number 4, I'm going with a movie called Boiler Room.
Okay,
Have you seen it?
I have not.
Oh, okay, good. I like this.
So
So,
hold on,
yeah,
I got to
so
grab a pen and
you
write
can
this
actually
down.
have something to do one night on
Yep,
Saturday, or not probably Saturday, maybe like a Thursday.
definitely not a Saturday.
Boiler Room, really good movie. I'm not going to give
Okay,
it away too much,
who's
but
in it?
some good actors. I forget his name right
Put you on
now.
the spot.
Giovanni, I forget what his name is. People
Came
are
out in
commenting like
2000. All right, I
they're
did
going to
not
blow
miss
us up.
this.
Giovanni Ribisi. Yeah,
Ben
he's good.
Affleck
Ben Affleck's in it. Vin
is in it.
Diesel. There's a
Yeah,
bunch of people in it.
Vin Diesel. Okay, all
Yep.
right.
Yep. Yeah, really good.
Yeah,
And I'm
don't
not
tell
a
me
Vin
about it.
Diesel guy, but it's really
No,
good.
not after what was it called? What was their movie? Fast Cars or
Yeah, Fast and Furious and all that.
Fast and Furious? Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I watched the first 2, and I think that was it. Now they're up to like
Yeah.
26. All right, Boiler Room. I got it written down. I'm gonna check it
Yep.
out
Good
for
movie.
sure. All right, I like it. All right, number 3 for me. And this falls in a trilogy. And if this trilogy comes on during the weekend, I'm watching all 3, and I'm watching all 3 with the same gusto and the same energy as I'm watching the one that I listed. But I went Back to the Future
Oh, shit.
as as my number 3.
I thought you
I
were
love.
I
I
thought you were going
love.
Godfather.
No, Godfather 1's fantastic. After that,
I
give
actually
me a
like
break.
2. I actually think 2 is better.
2's
But when the
okay. 2's
trilogy, when you
okay.
said the trilogy, I forgot Back to the Future was a trilogy.
Yeah, I
So
love it. And to be honest, I love Back to the Future too. But to me, it's just like a replay of Back to the Future. So I
yeah.
went Back to the Future as my number 3. Um, I don't know, childhood favorite. I don't know. I just love it. I love it.
So I went to a Halloween party. No, it was an 80s party one time with a family. You probably know them, but I'm not going to mention any names.
Right.
I went
I'm sure
to
I do.
their party, and it was like a really like heavy 80s party. and they had a DeLorean there, like the one in Back to the Future. I was like, "Oh my god, that's so cool! A DeLorean like Back to the Future." I go, "No, that's the one from the movie."
Jeez. That
And
sounds
I
about
was
right.
like, "Really?" Like they had it all roped off and everything. I was like, "That's the one." But couldn't you just put ropes around any DeLorean
Yeah.
and
I mean,
say
it had
that's
the
the
flux
one?
capacitor in there. Was
Yeah.
it
Oh,
like,
it was. I will believe them that it was the one that was in the movie. So, and you probably know who I'm talking about. So they, no doubt they'd probably have it. So because they can. Um, all right. So what are we at? Number 3?
3? Yep.
I am going to go with another mob movie. I said they wouldn't be all mob movies, but a few of them are, and it's Casino. So I love Pesci. I love De Niro. I love gambling. I love the whole Vegas scene. I love all the back and forth with his girlfriend and, the sleazy boyfriend that she gets back with.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just a great movie.
That is a great
So
movie, and that was one that wasn't even on my radar. Now that you say it, yeah, that should have. Yeah, man, good
yeah,
call.
yeah,
That's a
yeah. It's
really good
it's
call.
it's one of the best out there. It's
Yeah, you 100%.
yeah.
I was going through some top 250 list. Maybe I missed it, but I didn't see Casino on there. Like, I probably just scrolled past it. But
Yeah, a
yeah,
lot of
that's
those are like
awesome.
old school too, like Gone with the Wind and like Rear View Window or whatever, like old
Yep.
Alfred Hitchcock movies that you see
Yeah,
on those lists
yeah,
and stuff. It's like,
yeah. I know. There was some I was like,
Casablanca,
I don't
you
even know
know.
what that is.
Yeah.
Um, all right. So number 2 is the basketball coach in me coming out. Um, if you're familiar with basketball movies, Don't Get Caught Watching the Paint Dry. We're gonna run the picket fence. Mr. Gene Hackman, I think, in one of his best performances ever, and that's obviously Hoosiers. Hoosiers number 2 for me, and it was almost number 1, but another one that gives me chills every single time I watch it. I own the DVD. I've watched it. This movie I've probably watched 400 times, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
I love it. It's just such a great story. The sports background, obviously, and being a basketball coach, and just having the opportunity. Like, what if you were the coach and got to live out that? Um, so that's my number 2. It's a classic. Um, at in my office a while ago, I had a framed picture or framed poster of the movie, you know, whatever it is. I just, yeah, it's, man,
I mean,
I
the
could
the
watch
best
that one
scene,
every
I
day.
love when they like measure the 10-foot goal because they're in
Yes,
the big
yeah,
arena. And there's just so many like, the kid who's in the town that knows everybody knows he can play ball, but he's not playing ball. And, like, it's
saves
just
the
great.
coach's job.
Yeah. Yeah. And they got the drunk coach, assistant coach,
Yeah.
and, it checks all the boxes. It's just
Yeah.
like,
Oh,
it's
it's great.
great.
It's great. I love
Yeah.
Hoosiers. Love Hoosiers.
Yep.
So,
Now, we're not doing top 5 sports movies, but would that be number 1 for you or like something else like Remember the Titans or any of
no,
those other? Who's your number 1?
Hoosiers number 1.
Okay.
It's funny. I almost put Remember the Titans in my top 5 just because I thought I should have a football movie. Um, but that would probably, I mean, well, shoot, Major League's really good. Love me a Major League. You ever seen The Natural
Yeah.
from way back in the
Yeah.
day?
Oh, yeah.
Like, I grew up watching that movie, and it
Yeah,
starts
there's a
pretty
lot of sports
slow.
movies. Yeah, we might have to do a sports movie list.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do one at
Okay.
some
Yeah,
point.
we'll do
And
that.
I'll eliminate Hoosiers when we do that one because that's clearly
That's a
number
given.
1.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll have to do that.
Okay. Save your ammo for that then. Okay. Number 2. This is a movie that not many people have seen. Well, maybe they have. I love it. Obviously, it's number 2 for me. My wife thinks it's the most boring movie ever.
Okay.
I've had other people watch it. They didn't like it for some reason. I
All
don't
right.
know why. I really like it. It's called Into the Wild. Okay. And it's not like some fairy tale book or whatever the where the wild things are.
Right.
It's like look up Into the Wild. If you haven't seen it, it's really good. It's about about a kid that, his parents have everything and he's just like a simple guy, cuts up all his credit cards, cuts up his ID, goes off into the wilderness, into the wild, lives off, it's a true story too, lives off the wilderness and then, all sorts of things happen. So,
Okay.
but it's a really good movie. Into the Wild. It's very good.
Yeah,
Um,
I've definitely heard of it. I haven't seen it. But again, I wrote it down as I've got 2 movies I get to
Yeah.
watch.
Yeah. Look at that.
It's great.
All
It's
right.
good.
Who's number one? What do you got?
Oh, man. So, I might get ridiculed for this, I don't know, but it's my all-time favorite, and when I say I literally could watch it every single day.
Steel
um
Magnolias.
Yeah, you got it. No, it's Tombstone. I
Yeah. Oh. Ooh.
love Tombstone.
Yeah.
The characters in that movie are awesome. The storyline, the revenge. I mean, that one truly, if it comes on at any time, it's like if it comes on at
And it
11:30 at
does.
night on a
It comes on
Tuesday,
all the time too.
I'm staying up till
That's the
1:30
problem. You got to
watching that
watch it
thing.
every time it comes on. So,
So, yeah, Val Kilmer and, shoot, I don't even yeah,
all
and
of them.
I'm gonna blank on all the names now, but,
But they're all studs.
um, yeah, I mean, like,
Kurt
that's
Ru
like
is that Kurt Russell? Is that who?
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a man's movie, right? Like, you can sit
Yeah.
down and you're just gonna eat it up. So, yeah, it's my number 1. I mean, it's not like an all-time classic, but I feel like I think it's a classic.
I think it is too. I mean, it's
Yeah.
and Doc Holliday, Val Kilmer's the best in that. I mean, he's my
Yep.
favorite character in that when he does this with the cup,
The little cup. Yep, yep,
Yeah. And it's just great. And he's sitting
yep,
there, he's like, Baba, proceed. He's like getting
yep.
his,
I'm your
it's just the
Huckleberry.
best.
Yeah,
He does it really good.
yeah. It's a
He was
great movie.
incredible in that movie.
Yep.
All right, number one. Um Again, no surprises. It's probably a very popular movie for most people. Um, it actually doesn't come on TV much to watch, but if it does, I'll watch it. Is Scarface. So
Yeah,
again, another mob movie. I think I had 3 on my list.
you did, and I'm not mad
Um,
about it.
but no, really good movie. Obviously, Al Pacino, and it's just a classic, and it's straight Miami back in the 80s, during the
It's
drug. It's just incredible,
yeah, it's
you
probably a
know.
true story,
It probably
I
is. But it's got so many quotes and all that stuff. I'm going with Scarface for my number one.
Okay.
I remember like watching, I worked at a VCR shop in high school where we fixed like TVs and VCRs, and like it came in stuck in somebody's VCR. And then I was like, oh, Scarface. And someone's like, oh, that's actually a really good movie. You should watch it. So I watched it, and I just like sat there for 3 hours on a VCR and watched it on this little TV, like the
That's
built-in
awesome.
VCR to TV.
That's awesome.
And after that, I was hooked. But
I mean, does anybody under the age of 30 right now know what a VCR is?
probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not. So yeah.
I've got
But that's
one
an
I've got one
interesting
in my
job.
closet.
I tell you, that was an interesting job because tapes would get stuck in VCRs all the time, and people would be coming, and I go, "Oh, there was a tape. Let me grab it for you." Like, no, 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 don't worry
No,
about
no,
that. Was
no.
no, don't worry about it. That was like one of my friends was over at the house or something. You can keep it.
Uh,
So yeah, it was
that's great.
interesting. Um, but all right, man. Anything else before we get off? Like and subscribe. I know we've been doing well. People are starting to get the pod. People are commenting.
Yeah.
But if you can like and subscribe, thumbs up the videos, we really appreciate it. And again, it's just us talking ball. We're not trying to
What,
do anything special.
I mean, I know we'll get on again before we do our next top 5, but what are you thinking? What are you thinking for our next top 5 category, just so I can start?
Why don't
Because
you
listen,
come up with it?
I'm gonna be honest, I spent more time on my top 5 movies than I did my top 12 rankings. Like this stressed me out, man.
Yeah, well, Tuesdays will be top 5 Tuesdays, and you come up with the next top 5.
Okay.
Give me a couple days ahead of time.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
whatever you want,
All right.
we'll come up with.
All right.
So
I'll pick the category. Sounds good.
all right.
So,
All right, man. Good episode. I'm excited for this week. I'm going up to Virginia Tech for the game, or to, Tallahassee for the Virginia Tech game.
nice.
Last home game for the year.
Yeah.
I'm anxious to see, because when they had announced Mike Norvell in front of Wake, I was like, okay, I'm waiting for the boos. And it was probably like 80% cheers, 20% boos. I'm curious what it'll be, this week. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's a tough situation.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, we'll jump on here in a couple days and go over this week's slate and maybe discuss the playoff rankings. Nothing really. I mean, there's a couple of little movements, but nothing crazy. So, um, But I think we need to talk about the ACC a little bit moving forward and what their path to the playoff looks like. So we'll get into all that next time. But like Todd said, like and subscribe. Give us the views. Any comments, any feedback you have is more than welcome. If you want to tear
Share it,
apart,
right? Share
yeah,
it.
tear
Share it with
apart
your
our top
friends.
5 movies, feel free. Put your opinions in there. Um, Love to hear it. So thank you guys for watching. And we'll see you in a few days.
See ya.
See you.